Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Innsbruck Junior Invitational Race number 2. We got the men's race coming up here in just about a minute, 49 seconds, 39 and climbing. When it comes to the number of riders that are jumping in there with them, there are going to be 4 World's Team members live over in Innsbruck at the World Championships on site at the Zwift Clubhouse, racing live on trainers there. Theo Gilbertson, Felix Engelhardt, Valentin Gotzinger, and Jonathan Vogler are going to be there, hammering it out, battling it out for €1,000 to first place, $750 to second, $500 to third, and €200 to fourth place. Theo Gilbertson coming out of New Zealand, he's a level 9 Zwifter. We've got Felix Engelhardt coming out of Germany, looking to double up the wins for Germany as the women's race was just won by Ricarda Bornfein. But coming out of Germany, he's not a Zwifter, Felix Engelhardt, but we'll see if he's able to hammer out a good sprint again as well, because neither was Ricarda. Valentin Gotzinger coming out of Australia, level 24 Zwifter, the most experienced Zwifter out there, actually. We'll see if Valentin has some solid efforts out there as well. Jonathan Bogley coming out of Switzerland. Not a Zwifter, but we'll see if Bogley is able to throw down. It looks like some solid results as well from these riders. Yesterday, we are seeing the best placed rider, from what I can see here, from the World Championships race. If these are up to date, it does look like a 19th place, actually, for the rider out of Switzerland amongst these riders here. 24th there yesterday, it looks like, as well, coming from the rider out of Austria there, Valentin there. So solid results there. Felix there, Engelhardt there with a 38th there, and then Theo there coming for a 72nd. All of them still solid results there for those World Team members. So I think this is going to be a fast and furious race here out on the Innsbruck ring. There's going to be 2 laps of the Innsbruck ring here. Riders are getting going here out on course. It is about 8.8 kilometers each lap. So we did see about a 12 to 13 minute time on the lap, actually, for the women, maybe a little bit faster for the men, but as usual, the crazy fast right from the get-go cyclocross or mountain bike like start that we usually see amongst the riders. We are seeing Gendrush here from R2. They're leading things out. Hodges is out there as well. Let's see if we can get eyes here on a few of the riders coming from the live shots there over in the Zwift Clubhouse. We do see Gotzinger here currently sitting in about 9th place. I do have eyes on him here out of Austria there. Watch out for him. I think he's one of the obviously more experienced riders out on Zwift, the level 24 rider. I believe it did say in our sheet here. Yep, it is going to be Gotzinger there with that level 24. So the Austrian rider, again, most experienced amongst the rest of the riders there on site there. See if we can get eyes on a few of the others there, but it is going to be Gendrush Gotzinger there right next to each other. I do have eyes over on a few of the chats, so if you are hanging out over on the Facebook feed, or you are hanging out over on Twitch or Mixer, we are going to be able to follow along with a few of your comments and questions if you do have them. Now, if you are completely unfamiliar with Zwift and you're like, what is going on here right now? I see avatars on a screen, there's pixels moving around, but what does this have to do with real life cycling? Well, all of the avatars that you see on the screen right now are actually representing real-life cyclists who are on actual bikes right now on a stationary trainer, some sort of stationary trainer. Can be a smart trainer, it can be a traditional or dumb trainer with a power meter attached to it, or even a speed sensor that is estimating power for them. But this is definitely real riders on real bikes powering these avatars with the watts that you do see in the upper left-hand corner currently. So definitely some real efforts here powering these avatars forward. The weight of each of the riders is put into the game in order to verify that their avatars do weigh the right amount for their power-to-weight ratio. You can actually see on the right-hand side of the course there the power-to-weight ratio for each one of the riders currently out on course here. There's Engelhardt there coming out of Germany there. 3.2 watts per kilogram is what he's throwing down at about 244 watts. And that watts per kilogram is what is going to be moving that avatar forward at the right speed that should be being thrown down for that rider's weight. So Engelhardt here is currently sitting in 19th. It doesn't look like anything's broken up too much for the riders that are part of the main race for the cash out there. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is a race that is happening both on Zwift virtually with a large group, 135 riders overall that have shown up. But the real race amongst the racers for the prize money, World's junior team members that are on site at the Zwift Clubhouse in Innsbruck at the World Championships right now. Gotzinger is out there, as we can see, out of Austria right now that we're seeing here. We've also got out on course Jonathan Bogley coming out of Switzerland, Felix Engelhardt out of Germany, and then Theo Gilbertson out of New Zealand. We do see Gilbertson a little ways up there, 5.1 watts per kilometer. We do see him giving a little bit of a kick, moving his way forward, it looks like there. So all of the riders, from what I can see, that are on site at the Zwift Clubhouse have made the main group. There's Engelhardt, and we are seeing P-Phone in the lower right-hand corner. Good to see him jumping in there out of Switzerland, perhaps in support of Bogley there. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what's going on there. And I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of fellow countrymen support actually coming from some of the riders that have jumped in, with 135 riders jumping into this race here. I have a feeling that we're definitely going to have a little bit of support and maybe team tactics even from some of those who are looking to support their fellow countrymen with the four that are on site at the Zwift Clubhouse. Now 4.1 watts per kilometer coming from Engelhardt here. Pretty calm. 260 watts, still just the first lap. Just coming up over the top of the overhead bridge. This is only about a quarter of the way through the lap, so things are going to stay pretty calm, I think, for a little while here until they cross the river. Once they do cross the river for the second time, though, it is up and over the top of what we're calling the kicker there, and that's going to be about a 45 second to 1 minute climb. Everything you got. I have a feeling we're going to see orange numbers up into 12 watts per kilogram or so for the kicks up over the top of that, but we'll have to see how things do play out, because that is going to be the key moment out on course every single lap, I believe. Engelhardt, though, is making his way to the front now. Currently 31st place currently for Engelhardt. Keep on moving forward. We'll see if we can find a few more of the riders that are live on site at the World Championships. Of course, a lot of really familiar names joining in on this Friday, actually. I'm seeing Hodges is out there. James Hodges. Michael Szymanski is out there. I think I saw Jonathan Levi, Matt Johnson from ODZ. So lots and lots of familiar faces there from the world of Zwift racing jumping into this high-profile race out here today. There's a live scene there coming from the Zwift Clubhouse. On the right-hand side, we are seeing Austria there hanging out with Valentin Gotzinger. Then out of Switzerland is Jonathan Bogley there, second to the left there. And then it is going to be out of Germany, all the way to the left there, Felix Engelhardt. And then Theo Gilbertson out of New Zealand was the rider third to the left there out of New Zealand, level 9 Zwift. We'll see if we can find that rider out there. I wasn't able to get a good shot, a good look at the screens there for the riders. Not sure where they were sitting amongst the rest of the groups at this point, but it is going to be Stu there. Leading things out for the whole pack now. 4.7 watts per kilogram, 5.4 watts per kilogram. Again, when it comes to the draft, it matters hugely in Zwift. You know, just like in real life racing, you can use so much less energy actually by just sitting amongst the pack. And all of these riders, I think, are pretty much just waiting for when it starts to kick uphill. 8% gradient all the way to the top. So we are seeing Germany all the way on the left-hand side. Then there's going to be New Zealand there on this second to the right. And then Switzerland there, third to the right. And then the one all the way on the right there is going to be Austria with Valentin Gotzinger. Now, we are seeing a little bit of attack here super early on here. This is really interesting to see. Well, they are crossing over the river there. It was just a little bit of an early attack, actually, before they hit the kicker here. But we are seeing Adam Webb, Fulfer there as well. We are seeing the KRT, Kate Levy there. Jonathan Levy. Kim Little now going with it as well. Hodges is out there. 40 as well. All of the big names are showing up for the ride now. And Engelhardt there is going to be the first one, along with Gilbertson there following it up there out of New Zealand. He's going to be following up to try and make this lead pack of the elite among those out on Zwift. 9.8 watts per kilogram currently, 10 watts per kilogram from Gilbertson. If Gilbertson's able to go with this and Engelhardt does not make it, this might be the race already said and done, because of Jason Hodges, 40, as well as Kim Little, who's the current reigning national champion out of the UK, going to be able to go with this move. This is going to be a serious move that has to be responded to immediately. And this might be €1,000 with with this pack going off the front at this point because Gilbertson has found his way into it. Webb there, though, now 9 watts per kilogram, a little bit of a kick, up in that 45 miles per hour currently, as you can see. Levi there now 4.5 watts per kilogram sitting in, and it looks like Gilbertson sitting pretty amongst some of the strongest riders out on Zwift. Engelhardt, though, not giving up, as you can see here, 5.3 watts per kilogram, a little ways behind this group, as you can see, 4.3 now, sitting in a little bit. Gendros there, coming out of Germany, wants to help out his fellow countryman Engelhardt, and it looks like he's got some support there for sure from Gendros R2. Now heading away to the front, 5.2 watts per kilogram coming from Gendros. Gotzinger now off the back in 16th place, though. He's in the second chase group now and settling in for a third place if he does not close things down right now. This is definitely a place of, definitely a little bit of anxiousness going to be in these riders at this point if they do not close this down as quickly as they possibly can. We are seeing Bogley here now all the way back in 27th place, so he's definitely a part of the third chase group at this point, and it looks like he is being let out by P Phone a little bit here. Actually, no, 13 seconds behind P Phone's the phone's chase group now at this point. So that's even a third or fourth chase group for, it looks like, the rider out of Switzerland. But Engelhardt now here hanging onto the wheels here. He's going to have to close this down immediately. It's only 4 seconds up, though, to the leaders at this point, but it's been full-on attacks here. Hodges at the front here trying to make the break stick. Unable to do so, it looks like, here, as Gendros and Nawson are super motivated to close this down, as you can see here. We are seeing a BRT rider, Moxon, here now making his way onto one of the wheels here. And then it is going to be Gotson here, as we can see there, 4.8 watts per kilogram coming from him. And Gilbertson here backing in amongst the group now, coming out of New Zealand. All back together almost, but no, Gilbertson still 5 seconds, though. 5 seconds, and quite the group of riders to be hanging out with. And it looks like these riders are super motivated to make this a crazy fast race. Adam Webb, one love here, 5.9 watts per kilogram on the front. Gilbertson sitting in pretty here, getting a free ride to that podium at this point. 4.3 for coming from him. Nawson still trying to close it down. Throws down that arrow power up actually just now from that FSK team out of Norway. Gendros then 8.8 watts per kilogram out of Germany here, leading out his fellow countryman Engelhardt at 6.5 watts per kilogram. It looks like it's all going to come back together. We're looking at the lead group here still. Excuse me, the second group out on, or third group, excuse me, again, out on course there, P-Phone. This is one of the main chase groups now. It doesn't look like we have any of the riders, though, that are part of the Zwift Clubhouse amongst that third chase group, though. A little ways behind them, it is going to be the rider out of Austria trying to chase things down. But here it is, yeah, Gotzinger here. Trying to chase things down just a little ways ahead, actually, excuse me, 5 seconds up from that P-Phone group now. Almost in no man's land here, but Moxon here is leading things out for him from the BRT team. Stu there is there as well, 5.5 watts per kilogram. A little ways up, though, we do see it all coming back together with the group of Nawson catching up to Kim Little, Adam Webb, as well as Jonathan Levy up at the front end of this race. And here's 40 now making his way to the front there. Super strong TT rider out of the UK. Well known out on Zwift. Probably has over 300 races actually out on Zwift. 40, one of the strongest we've ever seen out there when it comes to TT getaways. And it does look like he's trying to give one of those efforts actually as they head into the last lap. 10:44. Currently for the lap. Looks like they're going to cross right around that 11-minute mark, and he's trying to give it a kick, it looks like, here to try and be the first one across the line. But Kim Little here now, 6.4 watts per kilogram, the current reigning UK national champion, now making his way to the front. Now Gilbertson now falling off a little bit from the front end of this pack, but sees a very smart tactic there to sit on James Hodges' wheels and close things right on down all together still. Nawson and Engelhardt here at the back. Engelhardt now just sitting in it, looks like trying to recover from that effort that he made in the effort that he made to get back in with this group. 6.6 watts per kilogram there from Engelhardt now, and gets right back into the group there. Top two out of the Zwift Clubhouse now is going to be Engelhardt and Gilbertson out of New Zealand. A little ways back, though, from these riders. Gotzinger now 43 seconds back now. Gotzinger there out of Austria there on the right-hand side of the screen there. They're definitely going to be in a chase group, but with 43 seconds, not sure he's going to be able to close things down. So all the way on the left, actually, from that clubhouse, it was the two riders out of Germany, the rider out of Germany and the rider out of New Zealand. Those are the two that have made the main group all the way on the left. On the right-hand side of the screen, we've got Switzerland and Austria, and they're actually separated a little bit actually out on course right now, but they are part of 2 chase groups trying to throw down for 3rd and 4th place over at the Zwift Clubhouse right now. Again, there is cash on the line at this point, 1,000 euros to the first place amongst those 4 riders out on course. A lot of motivation, I think, at this point to close things down for the riders behind, but a lot of motivation to be saving up for the kicker up and over the top. Up on the top of the climb here, 8% gradient over the river for the second time. This is the first time crossing the river right now that they're going to be doing, and then the second time it is going to be into the kicker. Again, it is an 8.8 kilometers each lap. They did the first one in a screaming fast 11 minutes out on course. So absolutely flying, and some of the fastest men that we've ever seen out on Zwift have joined in with these junior world teams members actually. So Gilbertson now here out of New Zealand. As you see, 4.4 watts per kilogram here, keeping it pretty steady. Engelhardt out of Germany. So Germany and New Zealand have made this front group to try and take those top 2 podium spots right now. Looking through some of the chat here, we are seeing, good to see a couple over at Twitch there. Icerix, good to see you here. Which race is this? This is an invitational race at the World Championships. Road Race World Championships are currently going, Road World Championships currently going on right now over in Innsbruck. Zwift made a replication of the course, and currently we're doing the inner ring of the Innsbruck's course, 2 laps right now for this Junior Invitational, along with a Zwift Academy race that people were able to jump into as well. So, but the main focus, definitely the Junior Invitational, the 4 riders on site at the Zwift Clubhouse right now. Thanks a lot for the question there, Icerix. Really appreciate that. Looking through some of the comments over at Facebook. Good to see everybody tuning in here. We are seeing you, Marcin Krzwonos, as well as Drew Epstein tuning in again. Always good to see you here as well. A few others. Michael Szymanski's in there as well. I know he's out there racing right now. Always tunes in for the broadcast. A lot of the familiar racers, riders, as well as viewers hanging out in the broadcast. Good to see you all over there. So there's the live shots there of the clubhouse. But Gilbertson still sitting in 12th place, steady. Very smart position here, as you can see, as they make their way up and over the top of the overpass right now. Gilbertson 3.8 watts per kilogram. Looking at his results from yesterday, Theo Gilbertson 72nd, it looks like, in the World Championships race, but sitting in second place amongst these riders, maybe looking for a little bit of revenge after yesterday's result. We'll have to see if he's able to throw down and get some cash to bring home with him there. And then we are seeing Felix Engelhardt 38th place yesterday. 8th place yesterday. So both the riders that have made the lead group, maybe they played more of a team member role or something, where they were maybe more of a support role, because they were the 2 riders that had a little worse of a result yesterday compared to the other 2 riders, but maybe saved a little bit for the cash day. We'll have to see what they have to throw down. But 4.1 watts per kilogram currently from Engelhardt, and Gilbertson there 4.0. So solid efforts so far from them, amongst the strongest riders we've ever seen out on Zwift for sure. James Hodges, Kim Little here right now up at the front, making things crazy fast actually, as Hodges is throwing down 6.1 watts per kilogram, 6.2 watts per kilogram, 175 beats per minute or so. We'll give him a ride on. Kim Little in there, UK national champion. Adam Webb, these guys have won so many races out on Zwift. T. Fulford's in there as well, it looks like. So we'll see if Gilbertson and Engelhardt can be savvy enough to hang out with some of the riders that have made a lot of live events, actually qualified through some of the qualifications for the KISS Crit Series, and as well as the CVR World Cup stuff. These are riders that seriously have proven themselves not only on the virtual world, but also in the real life events that have gone on with the Zwift platform. So let's see if Gilbertson and Engelhardt can hang on and maybe even show some of these boys up here as they make their last time up and over the top of the climb here. Gilbertson now 4.7 watts per kilogram. No heart rate on the riders, so it's interesting to see. We're not able to really get the full picture of where the suffering is at right now for the riders right now. But Engelhardt sitting at 4.2, following the wheels. Gilbertson following Engelhardt, not necessarily the attacks at this point. I think they're pretty confident that it's all going to stick together. But we are seeing the riders starting to position themselves as they are heading into the climb. It is about, I'd say about 0.2K at this point, just to the, how about 100 meters, maybe 200 meters to the climb now at this point. So we're about to see some crazy efforts now full on. Last time up on the top of the kicker now, and Engelhardt 4.3 watts per kilogram right now, sitting in 104 RPM, so he's definitely spinning to win. Gilbertson now 5.4 watts per kilogram, also up into that 100 RPMs or so. Here come the kicks. They're about to cross the river, and immediately they will go into the climb. Gendrich now going to be the one that's leading it out though. Levi though, Jonathan Levi, 8 watts per kilogram, but it is Kim Little, the UK national champion, leading things out. Gilbertson there is trying to follow it looks like there. And Gilbertson going to be sitting first place amongst the other riders that are in and amongst the Zwift Clubhouse. There's Gilbertson on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, it is going to be the rider out of Germany there. And Engelhardt now trying to follow it. He's got about a 1 second gap between them now, but it is Gilbertson, 10 watts per kilogram, trying to follow Kim Little's wheel at this point. Kim Little is leading things out still, but it is going to be 40. Kim Little, and then Jonathan Levi. But Gilbertson now starting to come around. Jonathan Levi from KRT. They do have a 2 second gap over Engelhardt. Engelhardt fading, head down. Gilbertson out of New Zealand, up and out of the saddle, giving everything he can to close that gap. And if he gets away with 40 and Little at this point, 2 men out of the UK that we've seen win so many races out on Zwift, it might be all said and done. Looking back, Engelhardt fading. It is over, it looks like. The rider out of New Zealand with that kick up and over the top, absolutely demolishing that kicker climb, and the kicker up and over the top of the climb, 8% gradient. Hilarious now that there's a product out there. The climb and the kicker can't be put together there. But Matt Johnson here, 5.6 watts per kilogram. Kim Little now as well, going right along with it. Matt Johnson, ODZ now leading things out, 4.4 watts per kilogram. And then it's going to be 4.5 here coming from Firestone. This is a lead group, it looks like, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders actually. Gilbertson sitting on the back now with Levi, and then Little as well. So huge gap now at this point. Engelhardt just completely fading and off the back. It is a second place for him, barring any kind of craziness from Gilbertson, completely just going nuclear at this point. As long as he hangs on with these riders. Now the question is, will Gilbertson be able to take the win overall? But here we are seeing Gotzinger now, as you can see, 3.3 watts per kilogram, currently sitting in third place, I believe, out on course. Looking through the current results, I do believe this is the third place rider, excuse me, unless there is one up a little bit further. If we do look through some of the results here, we'll have to see if there is one a little bit further up. It would be Jonathan Bogley out of Switzerland. We'll have to find him out on course and see where third and fourth place are at this point. But 40 here now, leading things out. It's very calm though at this point, as nobody has any interest to try and get away. I don't believe anybody be able to make it stick. If they did, there's enough strongmen amongst this group at this point of 6 riders that anybody that does give it a try is most likely just wasting effort. It's going to be all about the kick to the line. Gilbertson here, 96 RPM, 2.6 watts per kilogram, playing it really smart. The money is already pretty much said and done unless Engelhardt can throw down and get into this pack again. With 18 seconds though, with only about 2K to go, I don't believe it's going to happen here. So I think it's all said and done for the podium for the Zwift Clubhouse, for the Junior World team members. Results here for the podium. Now Gilbertson though, he doesn't want the sprint effort. He's going early from way out here. Gilbertson now absolutely killing it. Level 9 Zwifter showing us that he's got the power and wants that lead out, but not going to happen. And now it's going to be a counterattack here from Firestone. 40 actually going for the 1K to go or so kick, though. But Firestone now kicking again out of the US of A here. 5.5 watts per kilogram. 40 jumping right back on that wheel. As soon as they come around the bend here in just a second, the finish line is going to be within sight. And that's going to be a drag race to the line here. It's not a sit-in and sprint situation. This is everybody just giving everything they got to go full-on drag race all the way to the line. And it's going to be like, how much power can I possibly hold to the line? Not how much kick do I have, I believe. But the smarter ones, though, Gilbertson and Matt Johnson, maybe going to be the smarter ones that were actually able to get a little bit, or egg on a little bit of a lead out actually from that initial kick. And Gilbertson actually sitting in it for a moment there, but no, off the back he lost the wheel, and it looks like it's going to be said and done for him. So the race, when it comes down to the overall, it's going to be Firestone here. Now KRT Jonathan Levi here going as well. 13 watts per kilogram from Jonathan Levi, absolutely demolishing it. And that's going to be for the overall 12 watts per kilogram with that aero power up. Looks like that's all said and done. But no, Kim Little nips it at the line, UK national champion. But the race, though, for the juniors is going to be Gilbertson coming across the line. There he is, first place overall amongst those riders. Now Engelhardt here sitting in with Nossen. B. Gill there leading things out with him. Let's see if Engelhardt has enough kick to come across to Nossen. Not going to happen though. Nossen from FSK going to be coming right around B. Gill, and he's going to be the first one amongst them. But Engelhardt taking second place over at the Zwift Clubhouse and going to be writing that check to himself there for €750 real quick with that effort to the line. Solid result with that rider there. We still have out on course though. There's going to be Bogley as well as Gotzinger, I believe, still making their way to the line. The rider out of Austria, as well as Jonathan Bogley out of Switzerland. So they are going to be making their way to the line. We have seen a couple of the riders here cooling down after an amazing effort there. But here's Gotzinger now, sitting in third place, I believe, out on course, unless we missed the other rider, Bogley, a little ways back or a little ways forward there, coming out of Switzerland. But I do believe Gotzinger here currently sitting in third place out on course amongst the Zwift Clubhouse right now. So Gotzinger 4.5 lead. Now Stu, as we can see here, solid effort there coming from him, as he will be securing for himself €500 on the day, as long as nothing catastrophic happens between here and the finish line. But it is bike racing. We've seen it all, I believe, before. So, but it does look like Gotzinger 4.7 can just take it easy to the line here. 105 RPM. I'm not sure it's any taking easy actually here. Now it's all for the kudos at this point. It's all for pride at this point. Ken Gotzinger, throw down, get the better Stu across the line there. 5.0 watts per kilogram, which we're seeing from the man out of Austria right now. Absolutely killer. 6.2, ramping it up a little bit. Is it going to be a lead out or is it going to be a sprint to the line, able to hold him off? Stu versus Gotzinger here. Valentin from Austria, the most experienced Zwifter amongst them at this point, or in the Zwift Clubhouse. He's got 6.5 watts per kilogram, but here comes the kick from Fung. And it looks like Innovation's going to grab that one, but Gotzinger solid result with 7.4 watts per kilogram across the line. 423 watts is the last number we saw there. Great job to him, and looks like said and done with 0 RPMs, most likely hanging his hat over the handlebars at that point. And looks like that's going to be third place across the line for the Zwifters there on site. Looking through some of the comments there, Kim Little saying good game. Kim Little did take the overall actually amongst them there, but now we're seeing an interview there. It looks like Jesper Anker giving a solid interview there to Gilbertson, who was able to absolutely kill it up over the top of that kicker there with that 8% gradient. A couple of great faces there in amongst that Zwift Clubhouse as well. Just saw Mr. Greg Henderson himself probably pretty happy there to see the rider out of New Zealand take down the W there. I have a feeling there's a lot of smiles actually there for Hendy actually. So a little bit cool little interview there coming for Gilbertson there. He was able to throw down and grab €1,000 on the day from that. So solid effort from him. Looking through some more of the comments here, we're seeing Drew Epstein there going, it's going over 12 watts per kilogram this time up the climb. That was a great prediction actually. The steady effort looked like it was 7 to 8 watts per kilogram actually. So absolutely demolished it. The men killed it out there today. It looks like then the results will be New Zealand with Theo Gilbertson, followed up by Felix Engelhardt. Just a little ways back, was dropped off on that climb up on the top, that 8% gradient actually. So Germany able to throw down for a second place in the men's race here. And then it was Valentin Gotzinger out of Austria, followed up by Jonathan Bogley, I believe, for fourth place out there on Zwift on that Innsbruck race. If you're just tuning in, we just had the Zwift Innsbruck Invitational Juniors race over in Innsbruck, Austria, actually. This actually just went down. This is going down live on site at the Zwift Clubhouse there in the virtual world. The Zwift had a race for junior world teams competitors. They raced yesterday in the real world out on the Innsbruck course, and now they just got done racing on the virtual world on the Innsbruck course, on the Innsbruck ring. Solid effort for a crazy 20 to 30 minute race actually for the men and the women. I do believe we're gonna have replays here coming in here in just a moment of the finish line there. It was just Gilbertson rolling in solo on his own there to the line actually, but solid effort there for him to the line. and able to take down the, it wasn't really that important at that point for whether or not he was going to take the W. So he most likely threw down. I mean, it looked like it was a serious effort just to hang on with those front runners. And we're talking about senior men who have been racing a long time out on Zwift, some of the strongest we've ever seen, obviously with Kim Little taking the win out there from the UK national champion. So that was a huge result to be able to be in amongst that crowd and absolutely kill it out there today with him. So Gilbertson taking it down today. We are seeing Sam Moberly saying, up the Kiwis. Yep, definitely, Sam. Sam, good to see you tuned in for the broadcast here, actually. Drew Epstein says, thanks for the fun. No worries. Michael Smith, he said, must have done the ride of my life to be in front of nice job out there, says Mansky. Great ride. And it's always super motivating. That's what it's all about with these races out there. It's so incredibly motivating to be riding from your comfort of your home or wherever you're at with the trainer there. It is absolutely one of the hardest and also great to training on a bike, actually. So great job to everybody out there today. It does look like we may not be getting a replay out here today. I'm waiting on our productions manager here, so we'll see if it's coming on in. It does look like, here we go. There's the replay. Here's Gilbertson crossing the line, using a last-ditch feather power-up, as you can see there. So Gilbertson out of New Zealand representing with the New Zealand kit on there, able to take down the W. Now, this is not the race winning move, but it is where he won. The race winning move was actually up on the top of the kicker. 8% gradient actually was able to follow the move there of Kim Little and a few of the other. Here's Godson there. He did end up in third place here. This is a little bit of sprint between him and a few of the other riders. But there's Engelhardt now for second place, trying to follow B. Gill. And then it was Godson there across the line for third, followed up by Bogley. So this was the Zwift Innsbruck Junior Invitational Race. Amazing job by Zwift. I absolutely love this. Very cool event there on site at the World Championships. If you are anywhere near over there, I know the clubhouse is absolutely rocking. Head on over if you're just tuning in and happen to be over at the World Championships. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that follow button at all the places that we do all of our live stream. We are live over on Twitch, YouTube, as well as Mixer. And of course, over on Facebook, where we see everybody tuning in. Great job to all the racers out there as usual. Amazing job to the riders who showed up today. Great job to Kim Little on the overall. An amazing job, and a big thank you to all the juniors that should show up. Let's give them a quick little shout out. Brittany Kerr coming out of New Zealand. Ricarda Bornfind taking first place for Germany there. Just a solid result for her. Thank you so much. Tina Schauer coming out of Australia. Naomi Ruig out of Switzerland for the women's race. Great job to those riders. Theo Gilbertson taking the win for New Zealand in the men's race. Felix Engelhardt out of Germany. Valentin Gottsender, as well as Jonathan Bogley, Austria and Switzerland, respectively. Thanks a lot, you guys, for showing up for the race. Great job out there as well. And as always, everybody, thanks to all the viewers out there. You guys all rock, and all the Zwifters out there, as usual, ride on.